Welcome to another video. This is JC Diaz. This episode of JC Diaz Uncensored is brought to you by no one, just me, no sponsors. In today's video, I want to do a reaction video. I want to do something different today because I believe it's time we get to the bottom of what's going on with these Epstein files. And I have a few things I want to say about this. And I thought that it will be necessary for me to address what's going on here. So let's go ahead and start this reaction video, and we'll stop it here and there so we can give our opinion about it, and we'll continue. So let's go. Let's start.
Documents in the latest Epstein drop, as well as more than 2,000 videos, 180,000 images, and some of the information in this drop was pretty darn damning against the president, Donald Trump. So damning, in fact, that the DOJ released the documents that had all of these accusations against Donald Trump. Very, very horrific accusations, really horrific accusations. But just accusations.
See, just like this lady is saying on this video, right? I think we've gotten to the point with these Epstein files in which we need to either have these victims come out and have them name the people and have them, go out and make the accusations directly, and stop all this hearsay, he said, she said, with these files are being released from the DOJ. But I think it's time that we need to hear from the actual victims. We need to hear from them. I do understand this is really traumatizing for these victims. But at the same time, if they want to have some type of closure, I believe that they should come out and release and name the people. You guys come out and name these people. So let's continue.
Because was anybody investigating any of these things? No, probably not. So everything remained an accusation, and everybody has plausible deniability in the end, right? That's how they did it. That's how this whole scandal was covered up. One of the ways. They were so damning that the DOJ actually removed the pages after the fact. But we have them. They're not going to be able to get around it. People still have them. This is what we saw later on in this afternoon, was this page not found when trying to access the documents. Previously, the documents were there. One thing that was also very strange about this was the link to see all of these files for the DOJ did require you to verify that you were over the age of 18. So they ask, are you a robot? And then the next question is, are you over the age of 18? They normally don't do that, so that was an extra layer that they put on here. They had 6 million documents. Now, what happened to the other 3 million? They're claiming they're duplicates. Okay, I still want to see the duplicates, because a duplicate's a duplicate unless it's not quite a duplicate, right? Maybe you're just erasing a line. You think we...
See, I do agree with her. I believe if there is 6 million documents, you need to release all of them, regardless of what it is, if it's duplicate, if it's not duplicate. Let us, the public, make that decision. Don't make the decision for us. We want to see every single file, and we need to see what's going on there. I definitely agree with her there. They should release every single file. It doesn't matter if it's duplicates or not. So I do agree with her on that.
Won't notice it, but that line is worth noticing. So there are 3 million more pages that are yet to be released. They're claiming, though, the DOJ is saying, no, we've released everything. We're done. We've now fulfilled our obligation. And Ro Khanna and others are saying, no, you haven't. You need to release the rest of the files. And they're claiming they don't have anything else to release. So what we have is what we have. But let me just show you the documents that they deleted, because we have them. Now, be forewarned, I'm going to read some of these to you, and they are not good. This is not good. Some of the things that are the accusations in here. One accusation reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral sex on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing oral sex. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend said she was also abused by Epstein. And the response, so these are complaints, and then in the next column is response, and then criminal history is on the right-hand side. Now, they've redacted all the criminal history. I'm not sure who's the criminal history? Who are they talking about? The criminal history of the perpetrator or the victim? Unclear. The response to that was spoke with caller who identified. Lead was sent to Washington office to conduct interview. Okay, but what happened with that? We don't know. Here's another.
So 13 to 14 years old, that's a pretty strong allegations. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, I do understand this is frustrating. This is traumatizing for the victims. But at some point, you have to, if you want these people to pay for what they did, you need to actually come out and say their name, accuse them officially. Because unless they told you they were going to kill you if you talk about it, which we don't know. We really don't know what's going on here. This seems like out of a movie. But let's continue watching, and we'll continue to react to it.
At age 16, while modeling, caller attended 8 parties at Epstein's New York residence. On one occasion, caller reported that she was sexually assaulted by Epstein. On another occasion, 2 twin brothers, Alan and Orrin, lured caller and her friend upstairs, but they escaped back downstairs. Caller stated Orrin raped her best friend, and a third brother, Tall, raped a 14-year-old girl named Redacted. Caller named other individuals involved, big orgy parties with her, other young girls, and older Victoria's Secret models, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump.
I have a question. This guy Epstein was, from what I'm hearing here, this guy was a monster, like literally a monster. How does someone get so much influence and so much power over all these famous people? How is that even possible? How can someone get so much power and gain so much influence? Like, who was Epstein? Like, where did he come from? What did he do? Like, does anybody know? Please comment below in the comments, because I'm really interested to know who was this guy that he had the power and so much influence to literally do these things to all these women. He was a maniac, but he also was able to get all these famous, influential people involved in this. Like, what relationship, like how do these relationships begin with these people? Let's continue.
Online complaint reported she was a victim and witness to a sex trafficking ring at the Trump golf course in Rancho Palos Verdes, California, between 1995 and 1996. Complainant reported Ghislaine Maxwell as the madam and broker for sex parties, clients of whom included Epstein, Robin Leach, and Donald Trump. Complainant reported participating in orgies and that some girls went missing, rumored to have been murdered and buried at the facility. Complainant reported being threatened by Trump's then head of security that if she ever talked about what went on there or who she saw, she would end up as fertilizer for the back 9 holes like the other cunts.
Wow. So allegedly, from what we can hear here, they told this lady to not say anything or she will end up like the other people. So are there any other people that have been killed that we don't know about? Are there any other females that have been killed and we have no idea about? Like, this is getting to be something bigger than what we thought. So let's continue.
Complainant claims to have video of high-profile sex parties, dealings with cartels, and having witnessed Robin Leach strangle a young girl to death at a party. That's a name I haven't heard in these Epstein files before. Maybe you have, but I haven't heard Robin Leach named. Here's another one. Sorry, these are very graphic and terrible, but this is what the DOJ released and then deleted. Complainant reported his ex-girlfriends, redacted, were victims of Epstein's, and one was murdered. While working as a limousine driver, complainant recalled picking up Donald Trump in 1995 to take him to Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. During that ride, complainant recalled some of the things Trump spoke about on his cell phone were very concerning and described being a few seconds from pulling the limousine over on the median and within a few seconds of pulling him out of the car and hurting him due to some of the things he was saying. Complainant noted Trump repeatedly stated the name Jeffrey while on the phone. One complainant's ex-girlfriend, redacted, told complainant Trump raped her, as did Epstein.
You know what's crazy about this is that, just to be part of this inner circle of vicious pedophiles, people who don't care about other people's lives, who don't care about raping these women, about hurting all these women. Just to be part of that, you have to be such an animal. You have to be a complete animal to be part of such an inner circle. And these are the people who allegedly, they were there and they're running this country. And what's crazy is that these people that most of us admire and all these people that we look up to are literally sick people. This is absolutely crazy and insane. These people are sick and they're mentally ill. Let's continue.
Caller is talking about crimes committed against. So here's another one. They said also, by the way, voicemail left, no response. Caller is talking about crimes committed against her. She claims to be a prisoner. She references Lisa Marie Presley, the British royal family, President Trump, and Jeffrey Epstein. Now, that all would sound like a conspiracy theory. If somebody called up, there's like a sex trafficking thing going on. It involves the British royal family and Lisa Marie Presley and President Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, people would be like, wow, you are off. You're a rocker. Fast forward, now we got all there's Prince Andrew. Now, we got all these photos and whatnot. And it's kind of like all these things that people were claiming are starting to look a little bit more, verifiable. I'll read you a couple more. Complainant followed up after a call with New York PD officer regarding her previous tip, reporting that she was forced to perform sex acts when she was 13 years old and pregnant in 1984. Complainant also reported there were high-profile individuals involved in her sex trafficking and the murder and disposal of her newborn daughter. Complainant reported Donald Trump participated regularly in paying money to force her to perform sex acts with him and alleged Trump was present when her uncle murdered her newborn child.
Wow. These are serious allegations. This is serious. Killing an unborn child, making her have an abortion. What kind of monster does that, And this is all, this was released by the DOJ and then taken out. You know what's crazy is I believe these people are never going to be held responsible for this because it's been, over 20 years, 30 years, and nobody has called upon these people to be held accountable, and unless the victims themselves can come out and name people. These files can say all they want, but unless the actual victims come out and call the names, what's crazy is these people are never gonna be held responsible for this, and the followers, the people who follow these people, they still don't believe this. The people who follow these people, like the Trump supporters, they say that this is all fake, that this is not true. This is all made up, that this is, why didn't the Democrats release it back in the day? Again, this is all allegedly, because I'm being honest, unless the victims come out and actually name the people themselves, these people are not going to be held accountable. You can forget about it. They're not going to be held accountable. So let's go back and watch the video.
Here's another one. Donald Trump, the president, had parties at Mar-a-Lago called Calendar Girls. Jeffrey Epstein would bring the children in and Trump would auction them off. He measured the children's vaginas by entering a finger and rated the children. And the guests were elder men and included Elon Musk, Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump were there. Attorney Alan Dershowitz was also there with attorney Bob Shapiro. We were taken in rooms, forced to give oral sex to Donald Trump, forced to allow them to penetrate us. I was 13 years old. When Donald Trump raped me, Ghislaine Maxwell was also present.
See, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe Ivanka Trump will be there and know that her dad is doing something like that and not say something about it. And the other people that she mentioned, I don't believe I don't believe these people would not say something about it. So I don't know if I can believe this part, what she's talking, specifically this part right here, that Ivanka Trump was there and she wouldn't say something to her dad. Because remember, Mar-a-Lago is a big place. She could be in the same house and not be knowing what these guys are doing on the other side of the house. Just because she was at the same location doesn't mean she knows what's going on. It's the same like the P. Diddy parties. There was a lot of people who went to the P. Diddy parties, but they had no idea. They would leave, let's say 10 or 11 p.m., and he will start his after parties at 2 o'clock in the morning. These people had no idea, and they were in the same location. So what I'm saying is, just because Ivanka Trump was there at the same location doesn't mean she knew what was going on, allegedly what was going on there. Because Mar-a-Lago is a huge place. This mansion is like the size of a resort. So she could be in one room and all these people could be doing crazy stuff in the other place, in the other room, and she has no idea. So, that's my thought about it. I don't know. You guys be the judge. Comment below.
All right, here's another one. In 2004 to 2005, Sir Ivan Wiltzig hosted a party where Jeffrey Epstein, Sammy Sosa, and Donald Trump were in attendance. Patti LaBelle's PR agent stood at the door. At the party, caller met an individual who was approximately 18 to 23 years of age who was brought from Oklahoma for a modeling job, but then sold to a man in France. Several women were being auctioned, and a woman possibly known as Colette LNU was the madam. A couple of years later, caller saw Colette at the Cheetah Club in New York, and she told one of Santos' friends that Jamie Foxx was interested in spending a night with her and that he could.
Guys, according to this, all our celebrities are crazy. All our celebrities are psychos. Sammy Sosa? Really, Sammy? Really, Sammy? De verdad, Sammy? De verdad? No lo puedo creer. I cannot believe it, Sammy. Again, this is all allegedly, because until they can prove this, all we can do is listen to this and go from hearsay, because we really don't know. In the United States, you are considered innocent until proven guilty. So these documents are not really proving anybody's guilty. They're mentioning all these names, but until this is actually proven, which I don't think this will never be proven, all these people are innocent. Just remember that, because I don't want people to think that we're not accusing anybody here. We are just listening to this and reacting to it. But I want you guys to understand, just because they're mentioning your names in these files, it doesn't mean these people are guilty, because if they were guilty, they would probably be in jail right now. In the United States, you are considered innocent until proven guilty. So until the victims can come out themselves and bring evidence that this happened to them, these people will never be held accountable.
Pay her a lot of money. These just don't sound made up. Okay, one more. Caller reported that in 1987, a friend, victim one, was out drinking and ended up at Trump Plaza. Victim one saw Donald Trump and wanted to meet him. An unknown man approached her and offered to introduce her to Trump. The unknown man gave victim one a drink, and victim one woke up naked and sore with $300 on the bed. Victim one didn't remember how she got to the room. She remembered seeing a flash of Trump's face. Victim one called the caller and told her she thought she had been raped. Victim one did not go to a hospital to have a rape kit performed because she didn't think anyone would believe her, especially because she was drunk.
See, this is what I continue to go back to. Until these victims actually come out and they themselves name these people, I don't think anything's going to be done because, I don't know, it's just, I'm not saying these people didn't do this. Most allegedly they did. But until somebody comes out, they're still considered innocent. Like, we can listen to this all day long. We can listen to these allegations all day long. We can listen to all these people read all this all day long. But until this is actually proven in court, these people are still considered innocent, which is, crazy. But that's the law. That's the way it is. And I know a lot of people are probably going to get mad about this, but it's the reality. It's just the way it is. Until these people are proven guilty, they're still considered innocent in this country. So let's continue watching.
Victim one's husband's business had problems with suppliers, and victim one believed Trump was behind it. Victim one also started dating a lawyer, identifiers unknown, who was married. Victim one had a fight with her lawyer boyfriend and went to a bar. Victim one left a bar with a man who no one in the bar recognized, but who seemed familiar with victim one. Victim one was never seen again. A few years ago, remains were discovered that matched the description of what victim one was wearing when she went missing. DNA tests at the time were inconclusive. Yeah, this is why the DOJ deleted these after they released them. So very disturbing, very, very disturbing files. But what will be done about this? Probably nothing. In fact, this is what the Department of Justice, this is Todd Blanche with the Department of Justice. This is what he had to say about men. He's like, men? What men?
So, just to clarify, is the public going to learn the identities of the men who abused the girls with the information that you're releasing? And if not, why not? And then I have a quick follow-up.
I mean, you just baked in an assumption into your question that I have never said and I don't know to be true. Is the public going to learn about men that abuse these girls? Like, what does that mean? I mean, I don't understand what that means.
Well, I mean, they're the men who abused the young women through Epstein's.
Look, we said in July, and it remains as true today as it was in July. If we had information, we meaning the Department of Justice, about men who abused women, we would prosecute them, right? We talked about the work that we're doing. That's why I said that. I said this earlier. There's this built-in assumption that somehow.
This guy's a liar. You know this guy's lying, right? You know they have the information. But like we said, until these girls come out and actually name the people themselves, nothing's going to be done about what's going on. Nothing's going to be done because in this country, you are innocent until proven guilty. And you are the Department of Justice. You know who you work for. You know we don't have to say anything. You know you're not going to accuse anybody, especially your boss. I mean, we will have to be dumb and stupid to believe this. Come on, guys.
There's this hidden tranche of information of men that we know about that we're covering up or that we're choosing not to prosecute. That is not the case. I don't know whether there are men out there that abuse these women. If we learn about information and evidence that allows us to prosecute them, you better believe we will. But I don't think that the public or you all are going to uncover men within the Epstein files that abuse women, unfortunately.
Yeah, because we redacted it all, right? Because these women apparently abused themselves. What men? Men? What men are you talking about? Right. Because the women abused themselves. That's it. They were only trafficked to Jeffrey Epstein. That's what they're wanting. right? The elites are wanting to just, oh no, this was just Ghislaine Maxwell was trafficking girls to Jeffrey Epstein, and that was it. Nothing else to see here. What man? Man, what man?
But see, this lady is going about this. I don't know. She's not mentioning names, but again, these people are considered innocent until proven guilty. It's just the way the law is. And I know that we don't want to hear it. I know we want to hear the names. We all want to know the names if it's true that this happened. We all want to hear the names. But the issue is, until they come out and actually accuse these people and name them, nothing's going to be done about it. So we can forget about this. We can talk about this all day. We can read this all day. You can read all 6 million files. But until they come out and say something, we're not gonna know. And these people will probably never be prosecuted. Never. So it's just the way it is.
Ro Khanna has this to say. He says, no, all the files are not released, and you do have the names of the men. You're just not releasing them.
Well, the survivors just want a transparent release. If Blanche believes that there is no cover-up, then he should release the 302 files. The 302 files are where the survivors name who these rich and powerful men are.
Again, like I said before, the guy was lying, the previous guy from the DOJ. He knows, they have the names of these people. Look, the American people are not stupid. We know who these people are. You have the names. So stop playing these games. Stop pretending that we are so stupid, like we don't know anything what's going on. We are not that stupid. The American people are really smart people. But a lot of people are really smart people. But given the choices that they've made in the last 7 years, I don't know about that one. So let's continue watching.
I've talked to the survivors. They say that they have named those people in the FBI witness interviews. So if those witness interviews are released, the American people can see for themselves who the survivors named and can come to their own judgment of their guilt. But if Blanche continues to not release the 302 statements, to not release the prosecution memos, then it's a cover-up. And so it's not the quantity of documents, and no one is asking him to name exactly who all is in the files. We're just asking him to release the survivor witness interviews.
Yeah, that's it. Just release the files. That's what everybody keeps asking for. But instead, they're playing games with us and covering things up and then deleting things and then saying, oh, we give you men, what men, and we gave you everything. And there's nothing else to see here.
See, I agree with her on that. If you are going to release the files, release all of them. Don't redact the names. We want to see the names. Stop playing games like we're not little kids. Release the names of the people. Like, don't put, blank or black spaces on top of the names to cover the names. We want to see the actual names on those files. Stop playing games with us. Come on.
It's just, they just think we're so unbelievably stupid. Another person who thinks, unfortunately, every person is going to cover up for themselves if they're in the Epstein files, right? Anybody and everybody's going to say, what? I'm not in the files, not me. And if I was, you're misinterpreting it as what it is. And Elon Musk had said that. He had said, this was, how long ago was this, where he said, shame on Sky, this was September 27th, so just a few months back, he says, shame on Sky News for this utterly misleading headline. Anyone pushing this false narrative deserves complete contempt. Epstein tried to get me to go to his island, and I refused. Yet they named me even before Prince Andrew, who did visit. So this is after one of the tranches of documents came out. Elon Musk, people said, well, Elon maybe is in these files.
How? See, that's what I keep asking is, how did Epstein gain so much access to all these people? Like, what did he do? This guy must have had some type of information, that he was able to, I don't know, either blackmail all these celebrities. Like, how do you gain access Not everybody has access to all these celebrities, you know? How do you gain access to all these people, these powerful people? Like he had to know someone, and we probably know who that one is, who gave him access to the rest of these people. I mean, you have to have some type of connection to allow you to gain access to all these rich and famous and powerful people. You know, a regular person just don't walk up to any of these regular these celebrities and say, hey, here I am, can I be your friend? And they're gonna say yes. This guy must have some serious connections, which baffles me, like the amount of power this guy had. You know, that would be something for another video, because this guy definitely has so much power. It is crazy to me. But let's continue watching.
Name is appearing, and he's like, that's just really unbelievable, terrible reporting of you. Fake news, fake news, fake news. Well, unfortunately, Elon, you're in the files again. And this time, I don't think you can actually claim that you were denying, you were rejecting, refusing to go to the island. This is an email chain from December of 2013. Here's from Elon Musk to Jeffrey Epstein, Friday, December 13th, 2023 at 11:35 p.m. Elon Musk says, we'll be in the BVI St. Bart's area over the holidays. Is there a good time to visit? Talking about Pedo Island. He's saying he's going to be in the British Virgin Islands, St. Bart's area. Jeffrey says, any day, 1st through 8th. Play it by ear if you want. Always space for you. He sends that on Sunday, December 15th. Elon writes back, okay, probably the 1st then. So like the very first day that Epstein offers, he's like the 1st through the 8th. Elon's like, then the 1st. Can't wait. Just got to go the first day you allow me. Then Christmas Day. So that's from Elon to Jeffrey saying, okay, probably the 1st. Then Christmas Day, Jeffrey writes to Elon and says, the 2nd or 3rd would be perfect. I'll come and get you. And Elon on Christmas says, I need to fly back to LA on the night of the 2nd. And then it got cut off. And he wrote back again saying, actually, I could fly back early on the 3rd. We will be in St. Bart's. When should we head to your island on the 2nd? And Leslie Groff, who apparently is helping coordinate these.
See, all this stuff she's reading, it's good, it's good for the video, it's good for us to react to it. But at the end of the day, somebody needs to come out, one of the victims, at least 1 or 2 or 3, they need to come out and they need to name who was in those parties. They need to make the accusation formally. They need to come out, because unless this happens, we will never get to the bottom of this. We can read this all day for years and nothing is going to be done. So I'm just letting you guys know, I am reacting to this in real time and giving you my opinion on the matter. But that doesn't mean this is going to solve anything. We're just reacting to some files that came out from the DOJ, not even complete files, because the files are not even complete. They're still missing like 3 million files. So they're covering this up. This is definitely being a cover up. But I want you guys to get used to the idea that this will never get resolved. So forget about that. Forget about it. But let's continue.
People coming and going says on December 27th, did we need to organize Elon to your island on January 2nd? So basically saying, do we need to go get him? Or, maybe Elon's got his own chopper or plane or whatever, however Elon gets around, right? I would imagine he's got his own mode of transportation. Most people don't need to hitch a ride. So what's that about? That's not you refusing to go to the island. That's you asking to go to the island. That's you, in fact, asking to go the first day that Jeffrey says you could maybe go. That's you asking multiple times over the course of a few weeks. So nothing is as it seems. I mean, that's the big takeaway from this is we're just being lied to by everybody. And anybody and everybody's going to cover it up until they realize, oh shit, I've ended up in the files.
Yeah, like she's saying, like I said before, nobody's gonna accept it, and nobody's gonna say, hey, yes, I did this, I did that. And by the way, just because Elon was asking to go doesn't mean he actually went and did this thing. So he's not guilty of anything. Honestly, like now, morally, we don't even know if morally, because, you know, he probably heard that there was some nice parties being thrown over there and he wanted to go see what was going on. That doesn't necessarily mean that he was asking, hey, I want to go to the island and hook up with these girls and rape girls and do this and do that. We don't know any of this. Just because he was asking to go to the island doesn't mean he wanted to go and rape girls. So this is all hearsay, honestly, guys. This is all hearsay as far as the Elon Musk part. Even if he was asking to go there, it doesn't mean he was asking to go because he knew exactly what was going on. He probably heard rumors about it from all his rich friends, but that doesn't mean he actually knew what was going on. Just think about it. Let's continue.
I can't cover it up anymore. Then what? Then they come up with some other gaslighting reason or excuse. And the other big thing, that the big takeaway is that we then have to find out that, oh, what men? Like as if these women, they just literally abuse themselves. All of this is fake news. I mean, this is just unbelievably bad. And, one of the accusations in these documents named Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka, Eric, named Donald Trump's children. So they were naming Donald Trump. So, and this is the...
See, that's the part that is kind of like a gray area for me. Because how... It would be hard for me to believe that Donald Trump's kids will be in the same location and they know what's going on and they wouldn't say anything to their dad. Even if they didn't say anything to the public, but to their dad. Again, they can be in the same property, but this place is so big that they could be in one side of the mansion and they have no idea what was going on the other side of the mansion. So just because they were there doesn't mean that they were involved with what's going on. So I think this right here, this lady is in the wrong because I'm not saying she's accusing them, but she is implying, she's not saying it like I'm saying it. She's saying that they were present. But they could be present in the same place and have no idea what their dad is up to, what he's doing on the other side of the mansion with his buddies. They have no idea. So I don't know. I think this is wrong. Like in this part, she's actually not right. But that's just me. So let's go ahead.
The accusation that a lot of the survivors have said, well, Donald Trump did nothing wrong. But you've got others that are saying, well, actually he did, several other people saying, yes, he did. That could be politically motivated, of course. But if they're also naming his family members, I mean, we just don't know why Trump is so guarded on these files. Is it because and what he told Marjorie Taylor Greene was, well, my friends would be hurt, or people that he cares about would be hurt. Well, who are these people? And why are you covering up for them? And I would only think that it's somebody very close to him, somebody he really doesn't want to see hurt. I don't know.
Now, in this part, I definitely agree with this lady. As the president of the United States and as the leader of our nation, I believe you are under the moral, not the, he's not on the legal obligation to say the names of these people, but he is under the moral obligation as the leader of a nation to come out and say, hey, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. But remember, before he was a president, he was also a celebrity who was friends with a lot of these people. So, I mean, I doubt, like I said, these people cover each other, they help each other, they look out for each other. So there's no way that he's going to come out and accuse any of these people or not of nothing. Only his enemies, So I think this is just hearsay, and I don't think nothing's gonna change. These people, they have us killing each other, but they're all together. They're all These people are all dying together, go to the same parties, do the same things together. Meanwhile, we're down here killing each other, pretending that these people care about us when they don't. These people don't care about us. You guys got to take that out of your head. These people don't care about us. All right, let's go ahead.
Release the damn files. Give us those files. We want them all. We want the 302 files, like Ro Khanna says. Release the damn files.
All right, so, my last statement for this video is until the victims come out themselves and name these people are considered innocent in the United States under the law. They're innocent until proven guilty. And until these people come out, the actual victims, which I know it won't be easy, probably will never happen, these people will never be held accountable. We can read all these files. We can read all 6 million of these files. We can make our own conclusions. But under the law, in the eyes of the law, all these people are considered innocent until proven guilty. All this right here that you just listened to is considered hearsay until they're actually proven guilty. So all we are doing right now is speculating. Even if these documents come out of the DOJ, right? The DOJ is releasing these documents, but these people have not been charged, and they probably will never will. So all these documents are literally hearsay. I'm not saying that they don't mean anything, but they're hearsay. These people, until they're charged and the court can prove that they're actually guilty of these horrendous crimes that they're describing here, these people are considered innocent. And that's just the law. It's just what it is. So I just wanted to bring you this guys, this video and this reaction video. I hope you guys like it. I will be back with another video. Be on the lookout for the video. Click, hit like, share, and subscribe to help the algorithm find these videos. And we'll see you guys on the next video. This is JC Diaz with JC Diaz Uncensored. I'll see you on the next time. Peace.
Thank you.